What up, everybody? It's your boy, Riley Puddin Peters. And with me, as always, I have defensive back, quality control coach from Louisiana Tech University, Dr. Preston Rowe. And it's been a while, but we're back now, and we're about to hit it harder than ever. We have a full lineup ready for y'all. I hope you tune in and enjoy it. This is the Trash Talk Tailgate.
And he scores on the last play of the game. They talk about that ball becomes a nation forever.
Are you ready? Riley Peters.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Preston Rowe.
One of the best young coaches in college football.
It's the Trash Talk Tailgate.
Strong right slot, C right, spider 2-wide banana seal. You're going to call it like it's your favorite play you've ever gotten in your life.
Dr. Preston Rowe, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Glad to be back. It's been a while.
It has been, man. If you can't tell, both me and the doctor we have some upgrades to our setups. We're looking a little different these days, coming a little bit harder. We've taken some time off, but I think we're now going to come back with a little bit more polished product, and I think that can only be good for everybody.
100%.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, it's been a crazy time in the football world out there, NFL, college, everything. You know, we've seen a lot happen in our absence, and I think one of the biggest pieces of football news, at least one of the most shocking pieces of football news that's come, is the release of Dalvin Cook by the Minnesota Vikings, man. Do you think he got released because he was Lizzo's boyfriend? From that one song? New man on the Minnesota... Anyways. Man, so, I mean, he came off of 4 straight 1,000-plus yard seasons, 52 touchdowns, and he gets cut this year. Frees up $9 million in cap space for him. But besides that, kind of a crazy move.
I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Because, I mean, $9 million, it's not like a huge, I mean, it's not small, but it's not a huge amount of cap space. And dude, like, they're not a better team because of this.
1,000%.
Dalvin Cook, he's the only running back in the league the last 4 years to rush for over 1,100 rushing yards. And, you know, he's 7 yards away from 6,000 rushing yards in his career with 47 rushing touchdowns. He's got 1,794 receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns to make that 52 total touchdowns. He's been a huge reason why the Vikings have had the success that they've had the last couple of seasons. I just don't think they're a better football team. Like, they say that they're not, rebuilding, they're retooling, but releasing, you could argue, the best running back in the league the last few years, that makes it seem like, oh, we're not really that committed to winning this year.
Yeah, I mean, they free up $9 million, which, once again, like you said, not a little bit, but at the same time, it's not like we're talking about personal money here. We're talking about the NFL, and at the end of the day, $9 million really ain't shit, especially when Dalvin Cook has gone out there for 4 straight seasons, been consistent, has been relatively injury-free. Not that he hasn't been completely, but compared to a lot of the other running backs in this league, relatively injury-free. I mean, $9 million is a great price to pay for as consistent of a producer as Dalvin Cook is for an offense. And I hope he goes and gets way more from another team, because I don't see the Vikings with the money that they freed up. They're not going to get I don't see them making a deal that is more beneficial to their team than just keeping Dalvin Cook.
No, because Riley, they had an atrocious defense last year. Yeah. You're not fix the worst defense in the league with $9 million.
$9 million.
Honestly, if you want to help your defense, you run the ball with Dalvin Cook and keep them off the field.
Yeah.
That's what you. And so I get it from a management and cap space perspective, but at the same time I don't, because they're not a better football team.
Yeah,
like if they're pulling an Arizona Cardinals and they're just full on fucking tanking for, potentially Caleb Williams, I would understand that. But they're a really good team. They're not a great team, but they're a really good team. And I just think Dalvin Cook, if you have Dalvin Cook on your team, you have a much better chance of competing for a Super Bowl than if he's not on your roster.
Yeah. Also, them taking #tanking for Caleb is a little weird, because it really seems like that team has kind of been all in on Kirk Cousins. And I don't necessarily mean management. I kind of mean the team. Like, he seems like a guy that the team likes.
Yeah.
Not necessarily talking about skill, talent, any of that. But tanking for a rookie quarterback when you have a veteran quarterback that your locker room revolves around,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a recipe to create some pissed off soup.
But I mean, dude, just, like, if you're the Vikings, though, and I'm being dead serious, you just have to hope and pray that all of your games are at 1:00.
Seriously, I mean, it's true. He is the greatest 1 p.m. quarterback to ever exist.
He'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer if all of his games were at 1:00.
Dude, he'd be a first ballot. Dude, he would probably have more rings than Brady without the same amount of seasons if every playoff game was played at 1 p.m.
It's true.
Like a #greatest quarterback ever, 1 p.m.
Yes.
So just to kind of polish off this topic, it's dumb. I mean, with that being said,
I've argued that he's the best running back in the league for a few years now. I loved him coming out of Florida State. Like, he tormented you as a Clemson fan.
Dude, he was a monster at Florida State. He really was. He was a boogeyman for sure.
And
I mean, his first few years in the league, he was an absolute animal. And he isn't an MVP candidate at running back, but he is someone that getting rid of just feels like it's a bad idea, because he's so consistent. You're not going to get that from many players. I just don't understand that gamble. But
I mean, they've got Alexander Madison, but he's, he can produce, but not at Dalvin Cook's level and consistent.
I don't think they're the same kind of player for sure. Not knocking Alex Madison, the man can run the football, but like, they're just not the same kind of player. So I guess the thing is, like, what do you think is up for our man Dalvin? Because the first social media reactions, I guess you could say, the quote unquote experts out there, everybody was throwing Miami, the Dolphins, hashtag make it colder, bring Dalvin in. He's been in Minnesota. They're pretty cold up there.
Miami, I mean, initially, he's from Miami. He went to high school there. He went to Florida State. He's a Florida boy for sure. I get it, because the style of offense that they have in terms of the run game and the schematics, they are a zone based offense with Mike McDaniel and that Kyle Shanahan coaching. Yeah. And he's a great zone running back.
Also can catch out of the backfield.
He can also catch it out of the backfield. He would definitely make Miami, a much better team. They've got Raheem Mostert. They've got Jeff Wilson. But Dalvin Cook would definitely,
he's only going to increase. There's no running room that he doesn't help.
What?
There's no running back room that he doesn't help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think this is going to happen. If anyone could pull this off, it is Howie Roseman. But I want him to just for the memes.
Yeah, man. Him with the Eagles. That would be Muy dangerous.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. Another team that he could really potentially help get over the top would be the Bengals. Personally, I don't think they're gonna keep Joe Mixon just because of the off the field issues that happen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And plus, like his cap hit is too high. I think they are gonna release him at some point. Dalvin Cook would definitely help Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I don't know if they do it, but
He's going to help Joey Burr cook.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's just I do think he is going to go to a contender that can pay him. I really think that the Dolphins would make sense. The Bengals would make sense. Yeah. What about you, Riley? What do you think?
I do believe that everyone's freak out on the internet was a little bit unwarranted. I think no one took the time to look into the fact that he is from Miami and from Florida to see why his first flight was to Miami.
Yeah.
With that being said, it just makes a lot of sense, and kind of they have a good opportunity. So I think they would. Another team, Tampa Bay. They need a fucking lot. And once again, he's a Florida boy. And that's a great piece if you're trying to rebuild a team that has kind of lost everything, because Tampa Bay dropped Leonard Fournette. They're kind of trademark running back for the past couple years. Obviously, Tom Brady's retired. They are in massive rebuild, and even in a massive rebuild, you need some players that can make some plays just to keep you on the field.
I mean, and they've still got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
players there.
They do have players, but they don't have a staple quarterback. So you need a running back to help balance out your quarterback, especially when you're going through quarterback hell. You need a really good running back that can tote the ball and catch the ball like Dalvin Cook can, to help just kind of balance out the defensive tack, to make it easier for a fresh or young quarterback, or just someone that's not as good as Brady, honestly. They're coming off of Tom Brady. Who the fuck are you going to get them to replace with? So, yeah, I think Tampa Bay is just another one of those options that kind of keep on the back burner. I know he's been in that area, but like we said, he's from Florida. He's a Florida guy, so him being in that area isn't necessarily too crazy.
It's true.
Speaking of Leonard Fournette and some other people, let's just segue this into just talking about some of the people that are left for the free agency right now, man. There's some big names in the free agency, including Dalvin Cook, including Leonard Fournette. But I mean, we have DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
He's
probably the best.
He's definitely probably number one left in my mind. And that's just because I'm a Clemson fan and because he's amazing. But he is 31, so that's something that people think about these days. Even though I don't know, he's still got that play, he's still got that dog in him. So he's the only visit that he has advertised has been the Tennessee Titans, and by advertised I mean posted on social media, stuff like that. But he's had a few visits. I think as of right now, the Titans probably are the front runner. That's just going off of like what I said. He's shown it, but for me, that's like such a waste.
It makes complete sense for the Titans, because have you seen their wide receiver room?
It's fucking terrible.
It is Treylon Burks, and that is it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can look it up and say the names, but
I think,
but for DeAndre Hopkins, like, why would you do that? I mean, they've got Derrick Henry. They're in a bad division. I do think it is going to get better, especially now with Trevor Lawrence and
Sunshine
urgence in that division. They do have a great coach in Mike Vrabel. I think Mike Vrabel is one of the best coaches in the league, but they don't have a quarterback. Like Ryan Tannehill, he's not a quarterback that's going to get you over the hump. Want to eat and win a Super Bowl. So,
they just drafted Will Levis, so we'll see how he turns out. And all of the rumors are that they're probably going to release Malik Willis? No. Willis? Yeah. Liberty Kid.
Yeah, Malik
Yeah,
Willis.
the touchdowns for Jesus, not touchdown Jesus. Don't get them confused.
So, all right. Just we were talking about this earlier. This is the Tennessee Titans wide receiver depth chart. They've got Treylon Burks, their rookie first-round pick from last year. They're excited about him. I think he'll be good. Chris Moore, Reggie Robertson Jr.,
I don't even know who that is.
Nick Westbrook Ikini,
Also don't know who that is.
His name is Racy McMath. Mason Kinsey, Kearis Jackson, Kyle Phillips, Colton Dowell, and Jacob Copeland.
Okay. Damn. Yeah. They don't have anybody.
Oh.
And no, that's
Nope. So he would 100% boost that receiver room. It's just it makes no sense for him.
I mean, money is at the end of the day. They could probably give him the money that he wants. Yep. And I think that's the only reason it makes sense. I don't. There's some other teams that could use him though, for sure. Like Carolina is already going out that way. I mean, they could definitely use some help.
He might go back to Houston.
Dude, if he could go back to Houston, that would actually be a pretty big bit. Oh man, because I felt like his leave from that city was so unceremonious for the work that he put in to help make them a great team.
It wasn't his fault. He got traded.
I know it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. It's so unceremonious. Like it was so shitty how he got left. Yeah. Like I think a return to Houston could be big. I think it could be big for, I mean, you know what I'm gonna say, storylines. We gotta have some hype for the papers to write. But yeah, that's a good shout. Man, there's some big names on this list. There just is. Jadeveon Clowney, the Clown Meister.
He's a very good, run defender.
He's a great piece.
Yeah, he's not the pass rusher you'd expect him to be.
Not anymore, for sure.
No. But he is still very good against the run. I mean, he's only 30 years old, which isn't crazy for an edge rusher.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, I just want to put this out there. No, fuck it. Hot take. Jadeveon Clowney's never been that great of a pass rusher. He's always been he's been an amazing run stopper.
He is.
Yeah. People got way too overhyped on him as a pass rusher, and I think that's some of the quote unquote disappointment that people have gotten from him over his career. And I think that's kind of the reason a lot of people talked about him not getting picked up from Cleveland, is that they didn't think he was producing much. But he was just doing what he's always done, which has been an amazing run stopper.
I've had this opinion about Jadeveon Clowney for a long time. He's always been a great athlete.
Yeah.
But he's not a great football player. He never put in the time to really perfect his pass rush. He was a beast in South Carolina his sophomore year. His junior year, he didn't do anything. Like his junior,
okay. In all fairness, he was getting like double and triple teamed on the fucking line.
What?
He was getting like double and triple teamed on the line.
That's true, but
I get what you're saying though.
Still, I mean, Aaron Donald gets double and triple teamed, and he's still producing.
Exactly.
You're
right. Yeah, that's the line to draw right there.
I mean, if you're gonna be, this, everyone was calling him like, this amazing transcendent pass rusher coming out of South Carolina. If you're gonna do that, then if you're gonna be called that, then if you're not transcendent in terms of your pass rush, then people are gonna call you a bust. And I never thought he should have been drafted that high. Just because if you watch him in South Carolina, his motor ran hot and cold. If his first move that he used didn't win, he basically quit. I thought he was going to be that amazing. He was drafted because of the combine and because of a hit on the.
I was just the one fucking play, the Outback Bowl versus Michigan. It is one of the greatest football plays of all time. If you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, go get educated because everybody. It's one of the greatest plays ever. I still remember I was watching that play live in an Outback. I was like, I swear to God, I was in an Outback Steakhouse when that shit happened, and still one of the greatest plays in my. And he's a South Carolina player. I should inherently hate that shit, but that play is so fucking sweet because the refs fuck them and everything. But yeah, nah, he definitely got clout drafted from one play that he just did his what? I think that was a sophomore year, right?
It was a sophomore year. It was the end of his.
Yeah, it was the bowl game from his sophomore year. So it was like wasn't even like his last year of play. It was like middle of his fucking college career. But it was an amazing play. So, I guess you kind of earn it, right?
But his junior year, he kind of just quit midway through because he wanted to focus on the draft. He was really the first player to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that Christian McCaffrey and I think it was Leonard Fournette did that for their bowl game, but Jadeveon Clowney did it midway through the season.
Yeah.
But
he did have some knee troubles though, so it was
he's always been
more understand
in terms of run defending, but his pass rush has always been lackluster in terms of what you'd expect from the number 1 overall pick. But I mean, he's only 30 years old, and he can still.
There's a lot of defenses he could help. Minnesota.
He
could go be a big help to Minnesota.
The Lions.
The Lions. Yeah, I think we talked about that. Him and Aiden Hutchinson on either side.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep pushing through this because we're still fucking Marcus Peters. I mean, once again, a great piece. Maybe not the star he was once touted, but definitely a great piece for a lot of defenses out there. Ronald Darby.
Yeah. I
mean, we still have Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette. So Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette. Dude, you could, if you had no running backs, you could go hit the free agency right now and get probably one of the better running back rooms in the league.
Dalvin Cook is 27. Ezekiel Elliott is 28. Kareem Hunt is 28. And Leonard Fournette is also 28.
I'm not even adding fucking Leonard Fournette or Kareem Hunt to that. Yeah.
What?
Said I wasn't even adding Kareem Hunt. That's fair. He's on the list right there, yeah.
I mean, dude, these are guys at the back end of their prime. And they're just available. Like Zeke, I think Zeke could really help someone. He could help someone with the Bills with all of their own struggles a year ago. He could help someone with the Bengals because he's great in pass pro too. People forget that.
I think the Bills is actually a fucking amazing shout for him because they do have this weird issue where sometimes if they were down too close, you would see them kind of struggle.
And Josh Allen led the league in red zone interceptions because he just much. They didn't have a good run game, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, so Bills is a great shout for him. I mean, Zeke's definitely. I mean, Leonard Fournette's kind of the same thing. I mean, they're both kind of the same back when you think about it. They're just a big bruiser at this point. They don't really have crazy take that bitch 90 yards on a cut speed anymore. But they are hella hard to stop if you only got like a yard, 2 yards, 3 yards to get. They're probably going to get it.
Exactly.
Teddy Bridgewater, he's still out there.
Is
the Bridge himself.
Yeah.
# second coming of Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God! Shut the hell
up. Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's old, but I mean, he's 30. That's a little bit old for a wide receiver, but at the same time, he's still explosive, I think. He's definitely still a guy that you can throw a slant to.
Oh, yeah. Especially because, I'm honestly shocked that the Saints cut him because, they're the master of slants, Michael Thomas, still isn't back from injury.
He's starting to practice. I actually saw that release, so he's coming. He should be back this season.
Oh, Riley, I did see something. I'll send it to you. I don't think I've seen it, but there was this NFL meme. It was how DeMar Hamlin is back, in full pads practicing.
Yeah.
And the top comment was, "Wow, this dude died and still recovered faster than Michael Thomas."
Hey man, seeing DeMar Hamlin back in pads is enough to make my heart stop. Okay.
It's true.
But okay, fucked up jokes aside, let's keep. I mean, there's a lot of defensive players though. Josh Johnson out of Cleveland. I mean, he's 27. It's pretty young. He's a decent player. Once again, another great piece for someone that needed a piece, especially a safety. Matt Ioannidis, former Washington commander. Actually, he was a Washington football team player. He wasn't even a commander. He got traded before that. But I mean, that's a great player. He's 29. He's a defensive lineman. That's still kind of young. D linemen usually go into like mid to late 30s before they lose their effectiveness, especially someone like him. He's just a space taker. He's a run stopper, a bowling ball. Great. Once again, another great piece that you could bring in. I mean, yeah. Trey Flowers, once again, another edge rusher. He's 30, but that's still pretty good for an edge rusher. Dude, Byron Jones, that's a pretty good corner that's out there. Kenny Galladay, that's a decent wide receiver that's out there. Another piece. Julio Jones is still there.
Oh, he's no.
I mean, but like,
no, the Kenny Galladay is not good.
He's a good piece. He can catch a spacing route, you know.
The bear of a receiver, he can do that. Okay.
Yeah. Fair. Shouts to Bussin' with the Boys, Taylor Lewan, though I don't think he's probably going to play this season. Got to be honest.
I think he's retired.
I don't think he's officially retired, but I do not think he's playing this season.
Okay.
I don't believe he's officially retired because he's caught up in a court case right now with the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
Because they botched his surgery, or they gave him a doctor that botched his surgery.
Yeah.
So, I think he is staying on like official as like a player. He's not retiring until that's done, so the NFL Player Association will help him. Yeah,
I think I heard that too.
Carson Wentz, he's out there. Hope he stays.
No one's gonna sign him, dude. You know that.
Yeah. There's a lot of older guys that are in this. Melvin Ingram, Carlos Dunlap, Casey Hayward, Julio Jones, Hakeem Hicks.
Yeah.
Some older guys that are available, but the free agency right now is deep.
It is.
It's real deep. And I think a lot of these players are going to get picked up because the word on the street is the NFL has a gambling problem.
They do. And so the Lions, it's just so like the Lions, dude. Like everyone's hyping up the Lions. They finished the season with one of the best records in the league last year. They barely missed the playoffs, but they still beat the Packers in the regular season finale. So everyone's been hyping up the Lions. I personally believe that the Lions are going to be really good this year. I believe, since the offseason started, if they would have had any semblance of a defense, they would have made the playoffs last year. Their defense was absolutely fucking atrocious. But they had the best offense in the league last year. People forget that. But it's just so like the Lions, because, everyone was really hyping them up. And then all of a sudden, some key players get suspended for gambling. And it's just like, it's just funny because it's the Lions. Like, they really cannot have nice things.
Nope.
Like Jameson Williams, their emerging star receiver, he got suspended for, I believe it was 6 games for gambling. And so a lot of people thought that was the end of it. But the league has now since announced that there's more to this, and it's probably going to be more league-wide, not just Detroit. Like, apparently a lot of players are gambling. And it's okay for them to gamble on other sports. They just can't do it at the facility.
Yeah.
You know, do it, on NFL property, I guess. And I get that. Like, because, like, as a college football coach, I'm not allowed to gamble either.
Yeah.
That's a game. Yeah, I can't gamble at all on any sport. But I guess the league should have seen this coming. Because a few years ago, they decided to partner with FanDuel and, all the other – what are some other ones, Riley? Like FanDuel.
Yeah, FanDuel, DraftKings.
Yeah.
Just like Vegas sports lines. There's like a bunch of different ones you can go through with like stuff like that. There's like so many apps where you can go and catch a bet, catch a parlay. And they made it so easy. It's so in your face, man.
It is.
FanDuel's out here trying to get you to bet on fucking high school girls volleyball and shit. Like, so now we have this really interesting question coming out about gambling. Like, what is the limit for a professional athlete when it comes to gambling? Because I think almost the entire world kind of universally agrees that if you should never bet on your team. You should never bet for or against your team. That is just wrong. I think we all agree on there. But the problem is, everyone agrees on that. But past that, it now is a million different opinions of every varying sway.
Exactly.
And, I have me personally, and I know you actually have a pretty like staunch opinion on like the limits of gambling. I'm a very like in this specific thought train, I have a very libertarian idea where I just think it's complete bullshit. Like, I get, once again, totally agree, these motherfuckers should not be betting on their own shit. But after that, the fact that they're trying to limit anything, I'm just like, fucking give them their rights. Give them their rights. Now, I get it. I understand it and all that. But, like, I don't know, man. NFL definitely put itself in a weird pocket hole that I think they're going to find out that they're either going to have to let everyone go or they're going to have to fucking suspend the whole league for a year.
Well, it's like the shocked Pikachu face. Like, we partnered with gambling and we're promoting gambling for our entire, like, for the entire NFL, like all the NFL, like all the fans. Like, we want them to gamble on the league because it's just, at the end of the day, like money is king, and it's all new revenue for the league that they didn't have before. Yep. They partner with these gambling companies. And shocker, if you're starting to promote that, guess what? Players are going to see that, and then they're going to start doing it. My thing with that is, like you said, I am more staunch like this on this than you. My thing is, these players, they know things that fans don't know. Like, not just for their own team, but they're friends with everyone in the league. So, that's why the league, releases injury reports and stuff. Because say, I don't know, let's just say that Patrick Mahomes is hurt, but everyone they're still going to bet on the Chiefs. But like, if you're an NFL player, his ankle's fucked. Like, he's fucked. Yeah. So you might bet against the Chiefs just because you have inside information. That's literally insider trading.
Yeah, you just found out that one of Phillip Rivers' 9 kids has a cold, so you think his head might be out of it for the week. Yeah, it's kind of. You found out
that Martha Stewart. I never thought I'd say her name on this show, but Martha Stewart went to prison for insider trading. That's what that. Is that not insider trading?
It's a weird line for sure. No, it's a weird line for sure. Because at the same time, maybe a motherfucker didn't. He's just using his football knowledge. If it's such a weird line. It's such a weird line because maybe they're honestly only betting on games where they don't know anybody. They're just trying to like fucking bet on games because they like the fun of it. Whatever it is, it's a weird line, and I am not even going to try to hedge a bet on how the NFL is going to approach this. That's a fact. But I am very, very fascinated as someone that's studied like law in general and like constitutional law and stuff. I'm very interested to see how the NFL is going to breach this legal gap because there is such a fucking gray area muck pool that they're going to have to drain, dig up, and fucking lay with concrete because there's no other way to treat this.
I mean, but dude, like my whole point is, dude, the NFL, you did this to yourselves.
Yes.
You made this bet. Like you're seriously telling me that you're promote the hell out of gambling for the past 2 or 3 years, and you're not gonna expect your players to get involved in that?
Why you guys gambling? Why's everyone gambling?
like Riley, you'll understand this reference. You know what it reminds me of for real?
What?
You know that South Park episode when Stan is addicted to the freemium?
Oh my god, yeah. Gotcha.
An alcohol commercial where it's like drink, fuck you, pussy, drink. And then at the very end, it's like, please drink responsibly.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, it's exactly how I fucking feel. It's like all of that shit, dude. Every booze commercial I've ever seen, it's like all of it, dude. It's a load of fucking shit. And I'm very interested to see how the NFL walks its way out of. God damn, it's gonna be interesting. But you know, we came into this conversation with the Detroit Lions, and I think we can ride just a little bit more for that real fast. We're gonna talk about Detroit Lions rookie Jahmyr Gibbs.
True.
He had a very interesting statement. When asked about NFL practices and like how they were compared to college, and he essentially responded, I'll use my own words first. He essentially was like, this shit ain't nothing. The direct quote, the NFL never tried to kill us. Nick Saban did. I mean, how you feel about that, President?
I mean, dude, like you said when we talked about it, he's not the first one to say stuff like that.
Yeah, he's not. I think almost every Alabama player, that's their response. Every Alabama player that gets that question, that's almost all their response.
Yeah.
And you've heard it from a few other coaches. Bob Stoops, I think when he was at like Oklahoma and shit, he was always notorious for being just a straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard Clemson players say that Clemson practices are hard, but no one's ever said that Dabo's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
But Clemson's, their notorious thing is they make players wake up early as shit. Mm-hmm. Like they make you get on a really good schedule because they fucking run you early.
Yeah.
Which I think is honestly probably the best way to handle college players. Because if you want if you're going to be a serious college player and like that's your practice time and shit, that kind of puts a damper on your partying abilities, which is kind of what you want to do for them.
Can't be coming to practice hungover as fuck.
Not if you want to take your shit serious. Not with a coach like Dabo or Nick Saban, for that fact.
Yeah.
Imagine coming hungover to a Saban practice.
Another program that I would bet money is a lot like that is Georgia right now.
Yeah, Kirby's definitely. I mean, that's a Saban product. He's probably got a fucking sphincter so tight you couldn't get a nail up there.
True. I mean, dude, Nick Saban, Dabo, Kirby. I mean, the reason they're so successful is because they're so demanding of their players.
Yeah.
Not just their players, it's also their coaches.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it is. Riley, did you see this? So, about a week ago, Nick Saban was asked, like, we know, how demanding, a college coach's schedule is. Like we've heard that it's a grind and all of that. But can you put a quantity on how much you guys work? Not just saying, the same old shit. And Nick Saban had a very interesting response. And a lot of people, I think, are going to be mind blown by this. So Nick Saban said at the start of last year, the start of the last calendar year, which I guess would be 2022. Yeah. He said He said that he and his staff at Alabama tracked how many days a week or how many weeks. I'm sorry. So coaches a lot of times they work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
People know that. But he said that they wanted to track how many they did that for. So out of the 52 weeks in a year, there's 52 weeks in a year. He said that they wanted to track how many weeks they worked 7 days a week, whether it was in the office, on the practice field, recruiting, on the road at kids' houses, whatever. You do not get a day off. Like, you work 7 days a week. How many weeks out of the year did they work 7 days a week? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And his answer that they found is going to blow a lot of people's minds. It was 44. 44 weeks out of 52, they worked 7 days a week.
That is a ridiculous fucking number for sure.
It's like, dude, that leaves you 8 weeks that you don't work 7 days a week.
I mean, and that's not saying that they don't work on those weeks by any means either. That just means those are the weeks that they don't work 7 days.
Exactly. Like, it's insane, man. So
that's 85% of the year. 85% of the weeks of the year you work 7 days. Sorry, that I was like, I gotta do that math real fast because that's fucking wild amount. Yeah, dude, 44 weeks out of the year. You know what? Only one of those weeks is Super Bowl week. That doesn't even fucking matter to them. They don't even care. Oh, man. That's fucking wild, though. That is crazy. That's just crazy, like, to put in context, like, how much work that is. Like, and, yeah, no, fuck that. Ooh, that's a lot.
Like, Nick Saban's been on record because he's been asked, like, oh, do you watch your players in the NFL? Like, do you watch what they do? He's like, fuck no. Sunday is a work day for me. So at the end of the day, he'll have, like, an assistant bring him, like, stats of everything that every former Alabama player did.
That's crazy.
That day during the NFL. Because he doesn't watch it. He's fucking watching film.
Yeah, he's got to break down the week before and fucking prepare for the week coming.
Exactly.
Sunday's like, I mean, this is a question to you, but like, Sunday's like one of the most important days for a fucking college coach.
Sunday, I have been in programs where on Sunday, you work 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because you have to watch all of the film. Like, you have to grade your players for the day before. You have to watch it. You have to grade it. That typically takes about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on, what happened. And then you've got to, there's no, like, break. You've got to instantly flip to, okay, that game's over. We graded our guys. We're going to talk to them about it. Now we have to prepare for this upcoming week. And in order to do that, you have to watch a shitload of film. And that takes time.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how you come up with a game plan, is by watching film.
Yo, that's the next great AI. All you computer programmers out there, fucking create an AI that can watch film and create a game plan reliably.
Holy shit. That would never happen, though. Coaches wouldn't trust that.
I mean, coaches wouldn't trust it, but if someone could make it, and if someone did trust it, and you found out that it actually fucking worked, imagine how crazy would that be.
Coaches are control freaks. They would never.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nah, some fucking shitty high school coach is gonna do it. That's gonna be successful and shit on the high school level. Let me tell you that. If you can create that AI, you're gonna change a bunch of high school coaches. That's for sure. you're gonna change high school programs across the nation.
Yeah. Not. Oh, fuck no.
Bunch of D3 programs, change them all across the nation. Oh, that's funny as shit, though. Man. All right. Well, I guess one of the last things that we want to talk about for this episode, we're going to spend as much time as we got for it. But big news, big debate in the college football world recently is the expansion of the college football playoffs. And here today, in front of you, live and in person, me and Dr. Preston Rowe are going to talk this one out because I am for the idea of expanding it, and Dr. Preston Rowe hates it.
I really fucking do.
So I guess I'll start here, and for me, one, the college football playoff existing, I always thought the way the national championship of the bowl game was decided was always a little boof. So one, I just kind of like the playoffs in general because at least it makes a little bit more sense. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's always made me mad about the college football playoff is it's always just been 4 teams, and I've always thought that was dumb as shit. Okay. So that is my thing. Like, it being a playoff, like it actually having a little bit more of a bracket and more teams being able to participate, I think it's going to lead to some excitement. There's definitely still going to be some fucking bowl over games, but there's that in the regular playoffs now. There's that in the regular bowl system before that. Some teams are just going to get outmatched and shat on. That's just a fact of football. But overall, I think we're just going to get a little bit more December, January madness.
Okay.
It's a joke on March Madness. What's up, everybody? I'm the absolute pun god.
Okay.
So
you done?
That's my beginning part. Yeah, I'll let you go.
All right. Well, my first argument is this: college football, the college football that I grew up knowing and loving, was a regular season sport. It has the most important regular season in all of sports. The NBA regular season doesn't matter. The NFL regular season, it matters, but not to the extent of college football. Because when I was a kid growing up, if you lost a game, didn't matter if it was a conference game or not, you might not, you probably fucked yourself. You have to, the regular season was so important. Every game mattered. You can't say that about any other sports league. In the NFL, not all games matter. The NBA, not all games matter. MLB, all of that. Not every single game matters. In college football, it was every game mattered because every game was a landmine that you had to navigate if you wanted to potentially compete for a national championship. And that was really special. Now, with the expanded playoff, not every game's going to matter. Dude, think about it. If you have, 12 now, I think they're going to expand it to?
I think that's what it's talking about. Yeah.
12? Think about this, dude. What was the most watched game in college football last year? It was Michigan-Ohio State. That game meant something. Game meant something. That's a huge rivalry game. Yeah, bragging rights, all of that. But, dude, if either team loses that game, then they're probably not going to make, their season's essentially over. Their dreams of a national championship are over. Now with the 12th playoff, they're both going to get in. So that game is meaningless.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. That game does not matter at all. So you are completely devaluing the importance of the regular season. Now every game doesn't matter.
I do see that point. To counter, I think 12 is what they're proposing, but I'm just going to put this out there. If it was 8 teams, I think your point actually still kind of holds. I think even if you lose, because if you lose two games in a season, you are most likely not in the top 10.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I think if you make it 8 teams, you still allow the really great money making and powerhouse programs that everybody wants to watch in the end. You give them their chance to shine or whatever, but you can't fuck up. You still can't fuck up. You get one game, maybe. If you're the best programs.
Yeah.
I do think 12 is a little bit, I think past 12 and past, especially 12, 16, you are starting to water down that. And I do agree. I think it does kind of take away some of the potency of the regular season for college football.
Like, that's the thing that makes college football so special. The thing I loved about the BCS, and this has been ruined with the playoff as well, is that, like the big bowl games, like the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl, like even if you didn't play for a national championship, if you won your conference and went to a major bowl game, that mattered.
Yeah.
Like Tech going to the Orange Bowl, like as much as they did, that mattered. We didn't win a lot of them, but it still mattered. It was
We didn't win, but we were there, okay? Take that shit up with the Buffalo Bills, Preston. Get that Virginia Tech shit out of here. Yeah. we got there. We didn't win, but we got there. Sound like you're from upstate New York, dude.
But you knew that if you won your conference, like if you won, the Big East, the ACC, the SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10, you knew, like, if you're a Big 10 team, you're going to the Rose Bowl. That means something. Now, playoff, all anyone talks is a playoff. No one gives a shit about the major bowl games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they've been kind of watered down in terms of importance because no one really cares. Like, now, if you miss the playoff, now you've got guys sitting out of the bowl games. Like, a few years ago, we had Pitt and Michigan State play in a major bowl game, a New Year's Six Bowl. Kenneth Walker and Kenny Pickett both sat out. Like, no one wants to see that. And that's because the reason that guys are not valuing the bowl games anymore is because the playoff devalued them. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. It's a weird balance. I think NIL will actually help a little bit of those people sitting out. I get what you're saying about the bowl games and shit, but like even if they did matter in this day and age, it's all because of how much money was on the table for them to lose. And like you're right that the bowl didn't get matter, so that the bowl games didn't matter, so that was less of an argument. But I think only kids in the national championship will probably actually really give a shit with how much money they could lose if they got hurt. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the mindset they had. That was always the mindset that you got from them.
Yeah. And then the other major argument I have that people have for this is, well, like it's gonna help. It's gonna help the little guy. Like it's gonna help, like the group of 5 schools or whatever. Well, you can say that, but it's not true. And this is why it's not true. Yeah, they might get a seat at the table, but still, you've got to play against Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, USC, Notre Dame. Like you've got to play against the big boys to advance. And here's the thing, Riley. This is gonna help the blue bloods in this sense. Because if you play more games, what happens?
You fucking win more.
Well, potentially, but there's also a higher risk to get hurt.
Yeah, there's all kinds of risk. Yeah, the more you play, the more risk.
The more games you play,
more reward.
Yeah. What?
More reward.
Yeah, that's true. The more games you play, you could potentially get hurt. Like every single game, you can potentially get hurt. Well, which teams have more depth, Riley?
Ah, yes. Big schools.
Yeah. So, like, say you're Memphis or SMU or someone and you make the playoff. Like, dude, like, imagine if Cincinnati, like, a few years ago, they had Sauce Gardner, who's been a stud. What if Sauce Gardner gets hurt against Alabama in the playoff game? Do they have someone like Sauce Gardner to come in and replace him? No, he's their best player.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's just going to help Alabama because now, now we have to, now we can just target a walk-on at corner. But,
sure.
Not that.
But I see your argument here, but you're making the argument based on the great player getting hurt every time. You got to those teams deserve a chance to like hope that those players are going to be healthy and play through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like they still deserve a chance.
But still, like
and they'll still. I'm not saying that every year they'll do something, but they will. I think more often than not that player stays healthy and they may get a chance to shake shit up.
I get what you're saying, but like it's not going to be good games because they're going to be overmatched. Riley, not everyone deserves a chance to play for a national championship. That's what made the
Yeah.
BCS so much
But
fun.
everyone deserves a
Every
chance to
game
be in
was
the
a memory.
12.
What?
But everyone deserves a chance to be in the 12.
No.
You're right that no one deserves a chance. Not everyone deserves a chance to fight for the national championship. But everybody, I think the only thing I like about the playoff is it makes sense. The path to fighting for the national championship makes sense. That was my biggest complaint about the BCS always, is that it just never made sense. So, like, I mean, some years it did because some years there was an obvious 1 and 2. But God forbid there was 4 good teams. All of a sudden everybody's pissed off. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what the solution was then? Then just expand it to 4 teams and just keep the BCS system. The playoff committee, I don't even want to start on them. Like I hate the playoff committee too because there's no set criteria.
Yeah.
Every single year, every single week, it changes. And they never have any good explanations as to why they do things. The BCS system, like, at least if you, like, I really like the BCS system. Yeah, they didn't always get it right, but for the most part, they did. And if you wanted to expand it, then just keep it to 4 and keep the BCS system.
I don't know. I'm arguing for 8. I think 8's kind of the sweet spot for me because 4 is just it. 4, it just feels like you're getting cucked of a playoff. You might as well keep it the old way and make it not make sense. At least with 8,
Riley,
you get a chance to have a little kid step in and maybe do something crazy.
But Riley, every given year in college football, there have been 3 teams, maybe 4 some years, who legitimately could have played for a national championship. Most teams don't deserve it. And that's why the regular season is so important, because it weeds out everyone who doesn't deserve it.
No, I get it. No, I don't know. I see the value in a playoff warm up game. I don't know, man. Like, you're right. There usually is 3 to 4 teams that are deserving of a contending title, like, you know, deserving of stepping up. But
yeah,
I think it'd be fucking great if you make those 3 to 4 teams go through a game before they actually get to the real people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know, it's like a warm-up game. But at the same time, maybe some shit, if you don't take it serious, you're still playing a very good team, and you could possibly get shat on.
It's true.
You know, it's just, then I don't know. You know me. I'm a storylines guy. You are way more of a technical, like, this is the rule book, like, football kind of guy, and I'm way more of a storyline guy, and that's the line we're drawing here. But I think at the end of the day, we can both settle on this. 12 teams is too goddamn many.
It is.
You're letting too many kids come and eat at our table.
Yep.
I'll let you hold your 4, and I hope you let me hold my 8.
But I think 6 would be good.
Yeah, but this is a weird number. I mean, you make 2 people have a bye game in the first round.
The best teams because they get a bye week.
I guess that's fair. I you know what? I'll see your 6. 6 is fair. Yeah. I think I do think it needs to be more than 4. Because if it's 4, it might as well just be the way it was. That's kind of how I felt about it this whole time. It still feels a little weird. There's still, like, it still feels unsatisfying. And I think if 6 or 8, you, like, those people, like, someone's always gonna complain no matter how much you move it up. But I think if you're within the top 6 or 8, or if you can't get to the top 6 or 8, like, then you should just probably shut the fuck up. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, yeah, the top 6 to 8, yeah, I'm down. I think that's a pretty solid place that we're at right there, you know?
Yeah. I like the 6. Like, if we're gonna expand it, I like the 6. I think 8 is too much.
Yo, if it was 6, you can make all 4 games on New Year's, and then it brings a new meaning to the New Year's 6.
It's true.
It's actually kind of cool, I gotta say. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this has been a great
episode.
Hashtag storylines. Fucking exactly. Get on it. All right, man. This has been a banger, dude. It's so good being back with you again. Folks out there in the football world, I hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble. But I think we gotta clean this one up, and we gotta head on out. So thank you for joining. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the beautiful things. Dr. Preston, you got anything to leave the people with?
It's so good to be back, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, the TTT is here to be your cure. So please inject us in you however you can. And have a great day, y'all. We got to get out of here. Peace.